overspray.com and come out to one of our games. We'll see you there.
leadership, experiences, and community partnerships. Our league strives for gender, racial, and economic diversity in the sport of ultimate frisbee. The Austin Torch is committed to centering marginalized voices and standing with those who champion the needs of underrepresented and underserved communities. Our work for gender equity in our sport aligns and intersects with the battle against discrimination in all its forms. With this purpose in mind, the Torch would like to take a moment of reflection to recognize our service women and men and all those who fight for freedom, opportunity, and resources for all. Now, I'd like to welcome the officials to the field. The observers for tonight's game are Joe Nyes and Teddy Wiseman. Captains, please head to midfield for the coin flip. The coin flip will be conducted by today's
Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream feed of the 2019 Premier Ultimate League. Today we're here in Austin, Texas watching the Austin Torch take on the visiting Indy Red. My name's MC Hannon and I'll be your play-by-play.
And I am Domenica Sutherland and I will be your color commentator for today's broadcast.
Just to get you guys acquainted with what the weather and situation is like here today, we've been experiencing some spotty showers and a bit of a downwind coming across your screen from right to left. So there is a bit of a wind to play here going on, but other than that, I definitely think it's a player's wind.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think when you really look at it, we'll probably see a little bit of more zone looks coming out with this wind. I know Indy and Austin both have zone looks that they've pulled out in their past games this season. And then it'll be really interesting to see kind of how the wind is affecting these throws. I really expect to see them sailing as we go to the left of your screen and probably a lot less deep shots going to the right.
Yep. We saw the players out before the game practicing their throws and getting a feel for it, so looking forward to seeing how they work with it. Observing the game today is head observer Joe Nyes in the white hat, and in the black hat we had Ted Weissman as well. Just to remind everyone, this live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
So to start the quarter, we'll have Indy Red starting on O in the right end zone on the field. So we'll see the Austin Torch starting on D. As we know, it'll be, if we have Indy starting on O to start this first quarter, they'll start on O in the first and third quarters, and Austin will start on O in the second and fourth quarters.
Okay. Just about to get things started here.
Definitely will be interesting to see what lineup we have going on for the Torch today. We have Tina Woodings playing in her first game for the Torch. As last week when we had Shireen Raby coming in as one of the reserve players, Tina is also a reserve player for the Torch. It'll be exciting to see what she brings to the roster this game.
Starting for Austin Torch, we have Drea Sparza. We have Bex Forth, Lauren Jerenzer, Tiffany Schumacher, Ashley Sheeler, Rachel Yeager, and Lily White. It's like a defensive line.
Pretty excited to see what this line brings. Interesting, at least for me, to see Laura, or I call her LG, on D-line. Definitely on the teams I have played with her in the past with Melee and Showdown. She has been a rock O-line handler. Really excited to see what she brings to this D-line for the Torch.
I do as well. She played a few D-lines last season for the Torch, and I always enjoyed taking the field with her. She really knows how to get out there and make plays happen. And a great player to have on offense when you generate a D.
For sure. Very chilly with the disc, knows what she wants to do.
Starting for offense on the Indy Red, we have number 87, Austin Pruka. We have Brittany Winner, looks like Jackie Lai, I believe. Jen Golan might be out there. Lauren Boyle.
Trying to get the numbers off these shorts.
Yeah. So, and again, Indy will be in white and Torch in black. To start this half, pulling the disc, we have Tiffany Schumacher. She's using the DISCRAFT UltraStar. The DISCRAFT UltraStar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. DISCRAFT, the world leader in disc sports.
Presented by DISCRAFT, the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League.
Landing just past half field.
Definitely seeing that wind come into play with the poles not going to be as far going that way down the field.
Moved up to the center. Continued to a reaching Brittany Winner. Continued again just outside of the end zone here. Creating space. Swung to the center. Believe that's a pick on the field.
Good to see them using those whiff-diff hand signals.
Seems like there's a pick call on the field.
Oh, bit of contact on the upline cutter, but all fair. We're going to have Torch with their first chance at a break here.
We'll see
Tiffany Schumacher with the disc. Good attempt at a break around, pushing it up the field. Ends up hitting the turf first. Number 23, Nicole Quay is going to pick up the disc for Indy. They're right outside of the end zone. We'll see how moving it up even further per the advisement of the observer. Right at the very front of the end zone. Oh, and
That would have
after
been.
a few bobbles, unable to keep it in her hands. Oh, and a beautiful grab by Bex Forth there to keep it in play for the Austin Torch. Working it up. Again, another great grab through traffic. Swings it near side to Shaler. Stoppage on the field. Pick call.
Looks like another pick was called.
Swung back to Bex Forth here. Another beautiful grab by the Austin Torch. Moved up to the center. Progressed through the center again. And a big arching backhand coming down. Ashley Sheeler is going to take it, and that's going to start the game with a break for the Austin Torch.
Really great movement there by the Austin Torch. It was really great to see, even with those high-intensity grabs, that they were able to stay chilly once they got the disc and were able to just move it slowly and quickly, honestly. through the field, you really saw them think about their looks and take that moment before they made their decisions. And that's really great to see, especially in the first point of the game when things can get really hectic.
And I'm really glad to see the Austin Torch come out here with a break to start the game. I think the last 2 games they started, they kind of had to trudge through a little bit of pickup to figure out where to get them on their rhythm. So it's nice to see them come out here, D-line, and make a stand.
Very true. It'll be interesting to see how Indy's O-line reacts to the fire from the Torch to start. Interesting look, Anastasia Foster is on the line for the Torch, a former Indy player back when they were called Indy Rogue last season, made the move down to Houston and is now playing for the Austin Torch.
Lena Gorin picking up the pull deep in her own end zone. Progressed up the field. Looks like a person defense by the Torch. Swung far side. Oh, and a beautiful digging grab there by Austin Pruka. She dumps it. Moved up the field. Still progressing. Open receiver in the end zone. Can she make the connection? We got Val Paneos there for defense. And she does a great job of blocking out and making a bit of traffic there. Pressure. Tina Woodings with the disc for the Austin Torch on the end zone line. They've got the wind at their back.
Great swing.
Beautiful. Back to the center to Fernandez. Fernandez in with incredible fakes moving her mark. She swings wide. Moves up the field. Mirrors with the disc to Bidding Foster, unable to make the connection. We're going to have Red's second attempt at the end zone for this point. Picking up the disc is Lena Gorin. Didn't like the first look. Going back to the handlers. Inside, skinny inside, and it's recovered by number 22, Brittany Winter. Moved up the field. 72 is looking for a deep shot to a receiving Austin Pruka, and she comes down with it.
I think we're really going to see Pruka going deep a lot in this game. She's a very aggressive cutter, known for just being dominant downfield, under and deep, and so I really expect to see Indy looking to her a lot in order to generate movement. I was really impressed earlier with Val's defense on her, and it'll definitely be a person that the Torch will have to look out for on this Indy Red roster.
Yes, and so we've had 2 scores up in this far right end zone on your screen, so this wind, they're definitely working with it, and it's not dictating the game by any means.
Yeah, I think it was a really great call also by the Indy Red coach to stick with his O-line, give them that confidence. When we were going there for that second point, it was a long first point, but you saw him put that trust in that O-line, and they were able to work it down. And now we'll see our first look at this Austin O-line of the game.
Pull is up. Captain Amy Broom's going to pick it up. Red getting down on the pull very quickly. Move to Bjork. Bjork's looking to make a connection. Does so with Sharon Sow, who gracefully gets into the air. And a bobble from Kara Crouch, uncharacteristic, is going to give the Indy Red a shot at the end zone for their first break of the game. And a miscommunication is going to give that disc right back to the Austin Torch. Annie Ortiz with it. Looking upfield, finding Julia Schmaltz.
Indy kind of in a zone look. You see Austin Pruka kind of poaching off onto the side, not really on anybody.
Able to toe the line is Katie Forth, who's going to put it up for Sharon Sow to bring down. And we have a hold for the Austin Torch.
I think we kind of saw a little bit of a poachy defense from Indy on that point. You kind of saw a little bit of a wall in the front, but Austin not really phased at all. The first time you saw Bjork really just punch it through the middle, and that time you just really saw them get it to the middle and then find that wide open person downfield. It might be they're finding the holes in this zone really easily, and it'll be interesting to see where they move from here. We got the fourth children doing some nice acrobatics for us here on the sideline. We have
Family of athletes.
Family of athletes right here. And then we have our lovely Torch cheerleaders on the sideline attempting as beautiful of a cartwheel.
For the Indy O-line, I see Jackie Lai out there. I see Brittany Winter, Kate McInerney. Might see her back in the handler position, moving the disc.
For sure. Definitely a go-to handler for this Indy Red offense.
On the pole for Austin Torch is Tina Woodings. Deep backhand. Moved up the field to Kate McInerney. Looking a little loose for off the handlers for the Torch, but other than that, a person defense. Swung around with the handlers. We see a deep look going up. Coming down with it is number 8, Jamie Schmetz. Moving it back to Brittany Winter. Brittany Winter shooting for the end zone. Can we get it recovered? Yes! And that is a score for the Indy Red.
Just a great grab.
Receiving that score is
Jamie Schmetz.
Jamie Schmetz.
She did a really great job of just being really chilly when she had a lot of people kind of converging on her for that deep shot and was able to track it down over a Jaeger misread and then just absolutely continued her cut. Jaeger didn't really know where she went, and she ran directly to the end zone, kind of one of those catch a deep dish and score moves that we saw the Torch utilizing last week. It was really nice to see them use it. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of that from them.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a handler sneak play from the Indy Red.
Just a little bit,
There was Kate McInerney back in the end zone, off that initial deep shot, could have potentially received that. If the Torch is going to play loose off of their handlers, that's one way to beat that, is to just send them deep, get them out of that space.
For sure.
Austin Torch on offense. Just coming in on the near sideline. Shireen Robbie picking it up. To Bjork in the center. Moved up to 4th. See a shrieking Sharon. It's not going to go to it. Moved around. Back to Bjork the handler. Inside look to Sharon. Bouncing it out, and we do get that leap look now. And it is taken down by Indy Red. Indy Red with the disc. Unable to get it off real quick. Finds a receiver in Catherine Soto. They're working it around their end zone here. See if they can't move it up. Strong defense by the Austin Torch. Yes. And there is a D there by Julia Schmaltz. Gets a hand on it. Broom with it. Looking in the end zone. Finds a streaking 4th. And through traffic, Bjork is able to keep it in the breadbasket and come with it.
Yeah, you saw Lauren Boyle trying to get that layout block there, but just was a little short on that one. Just Bjork has got long arms, and 4th knew exactly where to put it in front of her so they wouldn't get a hand on it.
Great pressure defense there. You never want to make it easy in the end zone. You never want to make it easy in general.
Definitely was some nice movement from the Torch. It was nice to see them have really great downfield D to once they got that turn, and then they were immediate to pick it up and move the disc. Sometimes you see teams being a little bit too chilly on a turn, and it kind of lets the defense set. But in this case, the Torch picked it up and moved it, and so they were able to just work it straight up into the end zone and get a lot of flow going before the Red really had time to set up defense.
Yep. And although an O-line for the Austin Torch, they showed that their O-line knows how to play defense.
It'll be interesting to see. They're putting this great O-line back out here for the Indy Red. We'll see if maybe we get another one of those sneak plays coming.
Watch that. Watch Kate McInerney and see where she goes. She's going to receive it in the center here. Looking up to Lena Gorin. Advances it to Kristen Dudley. One more to Brittany Winter. We know she can look deep. Oh, and an unfortunate bobble there is going to give the disc to Austin Torch. Austin Torch with the D. Dre Esparza looking to attack deep right away, unable to find a connection. Finds a Val Pinillos, excuse me. Kayla Ramirez looking, finds Foster underneath. Foster looking to dump to Dre. Through some contact, but Kayla comes down with the disc. Hope everything's okay. Looks like she's all right.
Looks like it was just Kayla trying to back up and McInerney trying to play Dion Fernandez, and Kayla and McInerney made some contact, but looking like it's resolved quickly.
Yep. Gonna have her tapping the disc in. And she's looking right now to a Val. Unable to make it happen. Little too much. Hard off the dead stop to get that speed that you need.
Looking like what we were talking about earlier, the wind is still downwind to the left of your screen, so the wind just took that disc and just let it sail right out to the back of the end zone. Really need to be cognizant of that moving forward for both teams.
See a person defense here. Streaking deep is Dudley. Not making the connection. McInerney with it back in her own end zone. Smets with it on the side. Moves it to the middle. Bit of a straight up mark there by Pinillos, excuse me. Pick on the field. Looks like there's a bit of a straight up mark coming from the Austin Torch, probably trying to prevent some deep looks or get the disc in a shorter field. McInerney with it. Trying to make some connections. Finds one in Brittany Winner. Finds 10 in the middle. That's Jen Golan. Jen Golan looking for a dump. Holds on to the disc a little too long and you get that kind of spin back. And it's a turn, and now the Austin Torch have the disc. Far side, Dre Esparza with the disc. Looking for an inside to Val Pinillos. Handlers are going to be working with, there's a call on the field, looks like a pick. If you're watching at home, if you see the players put their biceps up like they're flexing, that's a pick call.
Good old whiff diff.
Yep. And in ultimate, you can't do picks like they are allowed in basketball. So with the disc is Overman on the near side, trying to find a connection. Stall count's getting high. Finds Dre Esparza. Looking to make some connections with Ramirez. Finds her. Not marked. Ramirez moves back up to Overman. Oh, and a D by Kate McInerney.
Just looked a little underthroat there by Sydney Overman, and McInerney was there for the D.
We've got a stoppage on the field here. McInerney with the disc on the near side, marked by Sky Fernandez. I'm unsure where the call occurred and what signal I should be looking out there for. Is hands on the hips a signal, Dom?
I think there's an injury called.
Is there?
There's an injury on the field, so there's an injury timeout. It looks like Nicole Quay is taking an injury for Indianapolis Red, and we are also seeing Austin make a couple substitutions as well. We see Lily White coming on the field.
And I believe that's Bree Harrison taking Nicole Quay's spot. Brittany Winner with the disc, swinging it wide. Lena Gorin back there working with Kristen Dudley. Bit of traffic from the Indy Reds cutters. Able to move it forward. McInerney with a push deep to receive Jen Golan. Jen Golan looking for a downfield receiver. Gonna go back towards a dump. See who she can connect with. We got a hand block by Lily White. I believe there's gonna be a call on that. That didn't look super clean.
No, I don't think so either. And you can see from Lily's reaction, she knew she hit Dudley's hand on that one.
Yeah. Lily wants to go to the observer.
No, never mind. She
Sometimes
didn't think she hit her hand.
you can tell by the way the disc moves off the hand. You can predict.
Contested foul coming in.
Swung wide. Oh, Bit of contact there. Kristen Dudley's going to pick it up, or have the disc and put it into play. Looking upfield to Brittany Winter. Brittany Winter looking to go break side. Swings it near side. Lena Gorin with the disc inside, and Drea Esparza's there to eat that up, and the Torch have it back on defense. Offense. Schumacher with the disc. Yes, we have Schumacher putting it up to Drea Esparza. And that is, oh, to a beautiful bidding Drea Esparza. Hopefully.
And that's an injury timeout with 10 seconds left to play in this quarter. I'm thinking Dre might have got the wind knocked out of her on that one. That was an incredible bid.
It was.
But she's definitely slow to get up on that one.
She did recently coming back from an injury, so anything hitting hard is going to be
yes, for those of you that don't
magnified.
know, she just came back earlier for the clavicle injury. Fun fact, she fell off a Lime scooter. So, for those of you riding those electric scooters, please be cognizant and make sure that you are being safe on those electric scooters.
Her teammate Jenna Bigby down there in the corner ready for some water. Great help there. I was not to see that play happen, though. Drea Esparza had been getting the disc and had been looking downfield for her receivers, and finally when she got into the position to be that receiver, she took it. Got 4 seconds left in this first quarter. Now remember, we do not play to buzzer beaters, and the team with the possession at the end of the period will be able to play out that quarter.
And
we see a timeout.
Yeah, very quick timeout there by Indy. Probably trying to set something up so they're not moving as quickly.
Be able to get into a reset. They don't have to waste those precious seconds here to move to where they need to be.
Definitely, unless we see something absolutely crazy, I'm assuming Indy Red will probably be ending the first quarter with the disc, which I think Indy will really hope to end this quarter with a score. They know Austin's coming out with the disc to start the second on O, so this would definitely tie up the game for them and possibly not put them into a deficit coming into the second quarter.
Right. Keep it close. That's what they're going to want to do here. A lot of stuff can happen in 3 seconds. So we'll see how it turns out. Wonder if either of the teams are going to take the opportunity to change some of their roster here.
Well, you see a complete line change except for Lily White from the Austin Torch, speaking of.
Lily White's a great defensive player. I'd keep her out there.
Yeah, for sure. And she did just come in at the end of that point when Indy Red had to take that injury sub.
She's still fresh.
But it looks like Nicole Quay is back on the field, number 23 with the disc, our injury sub player from earlier in the point.
Great to see. Great to see that. So again, Indy Red has 3 seconds, and there's got to work 70.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Of course, they do have more than 3 seconds.
Exactly. Sorry.
And we hear the buzzer, so Indy Red will get to finish out this possession to finish the quarter.
Oh, bit of contact there. Unintentional. Just a lot of people in the same place. We're going to get a stoppage of play there, and they're going to start it back up. Kristen Baxter with the disc. This is a game of a point of possession right here. Great grab there by Austin Pruga to keep it in.
A lot of people crowding that handler space there for Indy Red.
That was a cutter all the way into handler position. They're still working up. Will this end the point? No, that is going to be caught there by Lauren Boyle, keeping it for the Indy Red. Still in possession, moving up the field. Big wide throw, about a 10-yard gainer there. Brittany Winter with a disc on the near side. Centered to Quay. Far side to Boyle. Boyle looking upfield, getting some signals. Gonna try and work it through her handlers now. Finds Upfield to Austin Pruka. Pruka looking dump. And the disc is up. A lot of defense here. And unable to bring it down was Indy Red. Through traffic.
An Indy Red player down on that play.
Let's make sure there's no call on the play before we end this corner.
Looks like there may be an injury on the field.
We had 4 players back in that mix.
No call on the play.
No
Julia
call.
Schmaltz with the nonchalant no call sign.
Alrighty. So that's going to be the first quarter, and it's going to end with Austin Torch at 3 and Indy Red at 2.
Hi, I'm Laura Garancer with the Austin Torch. We're a professional Ultimate women's team. I've been playing Ultimate since high school. It's the inaugural season of the Premier Ultimate League, and we couldn't do what we do without our sponsors. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Nationwide Overspray. Nationwide Overspray is a family-owned company that my dad started in 1982 when he was in his early 20s. What does Nationwide Overspray do? They hand remove paint and other contaminants from cars just like yours. Paint on cars? It happens more than you think. The next time you see a water tower being painted, a bridge, a sports stadium, or a road being striped, chances are some of the paint drifted and landed on nearby cars. Nationwide Overspray works with any insurance company to handle the claim. Your car will be returned to its previous condition, or better. Think Nationwide Overspray, the professional removal choice. And if you or someone you know has a car with unwanted paint, call 800-345-1269 or visit nationwideoverspray.com and come out to one of our games. We'll see you there.
All right, and we are back for the start of the second quarter. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. We have Austin Torch receiving. Indy on the right side of your field is going to be pulling.
Receiving the pool for the second quarter.
For offense for the Austin Torch, you have Sharon Sow, Shireen Robbie, Lise Bjork, Katie Forth. Bjork with it in the center. Moving it up to Schmaltz wide side. Great cut there by Katie Forth, making separation. And unable to bring it down was a deep look by Julia Schmaltz to Sharon Sow. Sharon Sow on the mark. Indy moves it up. 24 with the disc. That's Liz Gates. Far side, going to move it to a handler. Oh, I think Bjork got a hand on that. Still recovered by the Indy Red. Indy Red looking upfield, not liking the cut by Austin Pruka. Trying to find something. And I believe that's
That is
a
a
stall.
The observer is signaling stall.
Stall by Shireen Raby. Disc in Austin Torch's hand. And it's again, they started on offense, so this is their second attempt at holding the play here. Annie Ortiz with the upline cup. Oh, and a beautiful bid by Austin Pruka is going to translate into a defense, and the Indy Red is going to get it back on the far sideline there. Disc is up by a flick. 3 torch players down there, and it
Just
didn't
never came in bounds.
I don't know if it ever did come in bounds.
Nope, the
Yeah.
observer is signaling that it is out where Lauren Boyle threw it.
All right. Torch is going to have about a 20-yard field here to work with to get it into the end zone. This will be their 3rd time attacking this end zone. Elise Bjork with the disc. Inside shot to Katie Forth. Sharon Sow grabbing it out of the air, towing the line, making it look easy.
Sharon really makes everything look easy that she does. Her design work and her everyday life and being on the field just runs everybody into the ground. I will have to say, I was very, very impressed with Indy Red's D on that point. You saw Austin Pruka with that incredible layout D, as well as you saw Emily Nadler with a really great downfield D on the deep cut to start the point originally. So you'll really see Indy Red locking in. They're really in the shorts of these torch offenders and not making anything easy for them.
It's a heavily contested game here. Scores 4-2 in the favor of the Austin Torch. We're going to have Tita Woodings with the pull. Receiving for Indy Red. I see Brittany Winter on the line, Jackie Lai, Kate McInerney. And I think that might be Jamie Schmetz out there.
See Nicole Quay.
Nicole Quay as well.
Great pull by Tina.
Landing right in the center. Swung far side to Jackie Lai is going to get it started, moving up to Kristen Dudley. Oh, and a beautiful grab there by Winter. And a foul on the play. Lily White, she sets a mark. That is a challenging one if you're a thrower. Jackie Lai moving it up the field. Finds Quai. Quai to a bidding Golan.
Great grab by Jen Goland.
Back to Dudley. We've got about a 15-yard field to work with to the end zone. And Winter towing the line, reaching out and grabbing it through a aggressive mark there by Lily White, creating pressure. Brittany Winter didn't have anything to say about it. She did great.
Absolutely great. Another toe-in grab on that sideline. Definitely seeing a lot more aggression. There's a little bit less wind now, so very easy to kind of move it up in both directions down the field. It's been really interesting to see both of the style of play out of these teams. You'll definitely notice on the handlers that the Torch is going for more of a sag defense to start to stop any original pull play that the Indy Red might start, whereas Indy Red is really just coming down hard person defense to start. It'll be interesting to see if they try to change it up at all, but right now it's working, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I believe that's Emily Nadler with the pull for Indy Red. On Austin Torch's offense line, we've got Katie Forth, Broom, just Amy Ortiz, Shireen Raby. Broom's with it on the near sideline. Indy Red down there right off the bat. Inside look to Ortiz. Bobbled and they caught it. Would have liked to see a little bit more communication there, but it ended up working out for them.
Looks like a pick called.
Pick call on the field.
Annie Ortiz not marked.
Not marked. Unmarked Annie Ortiz is going to start with the disc. She'll ground tap that to get it in. She finds Sharon Sow on the under.
Great holster there from Annie.
Yes. Disc is up. Julia Schmaltz with a rooftop grab by Julia Schmaltz coming down with it in the end zone.
I have to say, Austin Pruka on Julia Schmaltz will probably be my favorite matchup for the rest of this game. Austin Pruka is easily one of the best defenders on the Indy Red team by a mile. And it's incredible to watch her play, and having her on Julia Schmaltz is just two incredibly athletic women guarding each other and giving each other tough shots. Austin Pruka was honestly in the best place she could be for that throw and still put pressure on it. Julia Schmaltz just went up and was able to get it down.
She knew she had a good defender on her, and she went up and got it at the highest point she could. She wasn't going to let that come to her. She wasn't going to run it out. She went up and aggressively dragged it. She wasn't giving Pruka an inch. Austin Torch on the right side of your field are in black, and Indy on the left side of your screen are in white. 8 minutes and 45 seconds left in this half with 5-3, and it is Austin Torch in the lead. Again, looks like the wind has died down a little bit, and we haven't had any rain so far. Skies are looking pretty good. Disc is up. Great pull to the far side there. Kwai with it. It's going to center to McInerney. Back with Kwai. They're working it.
Good to see Drea Esparza back out here after getting the wind knocked out of her on that bid earlier.
Reaching grab by Lena Gorin, and she's going to translate that into a deep lock to a streaking Smets, who's going to look to a handler dump there to Dudley, who's going to break around to 10. That's Golan, who is and Schmetz. Schmetz getting rewarded with the goal after that long run.
It was a great deep run.
And that was caught by Jamie Schmetz again. She had a great point there.
Just absolutely incredible flow there from Indy Red. Any inch that the Torch gave them on defense, they just absolutely took advantage of it and was able to work it completely down the field. It's really great when you see offensive flow like that. It just makes the game look so easy and so great. We talked to the Indy Red coach before the game, and he was saying how they were doing some new things this game, definitely still feeling themselves out a little bit, but looking to switch up who was on O&D, and it seems to be working out really well for them, seeing really good offensive flow downfield, and it's something that I think we should really be looking forward to for the rest of the game.
I do as well. This is anyone's game here. We got both teams scoring, both teams generating great defensive plays. I'm looking forward to what else is happening. PUL is up. Offensive Torch is going to be receiving it. Shireen with it on the near side. Going to look right to Elise Bjork in the center. Bit of a side stack here to start, or a flood stack. Finding Amy Broom on that near side still.
Shireen is unmarked, and Bjork finds her.
Looking to work the handlers. Great break there by Shireen. Another break by Amy Broom. They're working, and another break. Austin Torch is throwing the disc where they want it to be. And that is exactly where Katie Forth wanted that disc to be. That point, you saw Austin Torch throw the disc to wherever they wanted on the field.
It was definitely the same sort of thing that you saw in the previous point from Indy Red. Any inch that the Indy Red defense gave, the Austin Torch took a mile, and it's incredible to see both of these offenses kind of clicking at what seems like an incredible level. I also just have to comment, you may not see it on the screen, but Beckforth's daughter, Henrietta, is doing like backflips down the field, and it was incredible to watch, and I was thoroughly entertained. You also have Katie Forth's daughter also doing more backflips. If you didn't know, both are gymnasts, and they're adorable.
Celebrating moms, amazing backhand to the end zone there.
Be ready for me to also talk about more of their gymnastics skills throughout this stream, because I believe in equal representation for these sports, ladies and gentlemen.
Tina Woodings with the pull for the Austin Torch. We see a offensive line out here by the Indy Red. McInerney, Winner, Lai, Gorin, Schmetz. Lai with it in the middle. Moved it to McInerney. Ooh, it's a fun little look here by the Austin Torch with a loose on the handlers, maybe a 3-2-2 type look.
This is what I like to call a cattle drive. It is a zone. You will see Andrea Esparza and Kayla Ramirez in the middle acting as sort of plugs for this wall, and that is exactly where the cattle drive breaks down.
Yes. Dudley with the disc in just shy of the end zone, about 15 yards to work with, now only 5. Gorin with it right outside, 5 yards to work with. Marked by Lily White. We know she can put on a hard mark. Unable to break her. Disc goes up. Let's see who comes down. Oh, and it is come down by the Indy Red. And that's a point for the Indy Red, scored by, I believe that's 10. That's Jen Golan. Jen Golan with the receiving the disc, assisted by Lena Gorin.
You definitely saw Gorin at the end of that point put her hands on her head and just go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just threw that. Definitely very lucky that her teammate came down with it, because it really could have been anybody's disc.
Yes. Great. You know, it was nice to see a new defensive lookout versus the person that we've been seeing so much of so far in this game. But as you said, those zone-type defenses are high risk, high reward. If they get broken, they're broken.
Yeah, once you get around that, it's really off to the races.
Yep.
And you saw Indy Red just exploit that hole that they found on that sideline. The front wall just wasn't able to get over fast enough, and they just did a quick swing to the next wing. And that's really where you're going to see that fall apart. It'll be interesting to see if the Torch make any adjustments and try to throw it again.
Coming down in the center of the field here. Bjork with the disc. And he pulls it down. She looks to shoot it deep to Shao. There's going to be 3 Indy Red there, and everybody's coming in now. Few hands on it, but no one comes down with it. Catherine Soto with the disc now. They've got 70 to work with. Bit of a sag on the handlers, but still person defense. Foul on the mark there. Disc is up. Moving it around. Lauren Boyle with the disc, trying to dictate some of her cutters where to go. She's going to work it back with Catherine Soto, unable to make the connection. Comes up to Pruka.
My favorite matchup, Julia Smaltz and Austin Pruka.
Disc is high. Can Sharon Tsao come down with it? Oh, she doesn't come down with it, but her pressure of being there is going to generate a D for Austin Torch. Bjork picking it up right outside of the end zone.
Elise Bjork, number 2, ended up for the Austin Torch.
Back to Kara Crouch. Swung near side to Annie Ortiz. Strike by Kara. Moved really quickly off of her throw. Looking at stoppage on the field. I believe we got a pick. Austin Torch are going to want to really dial it in here. This is an offensive line. They want to score here and hold. Hammer. Unable to come down with it.
An interesting choice there by Crouch. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with it.
You know, you never agree with the early hammer unless it's caught.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Well, we'll see them back on defense.
And okay, great grab there by Indy, keeping it in possession. To Pruka, marked by Schmaltz. Looking around to swing. Hits Boyle. Boyle moves it near side. Advanced up the field. Looking for a big backhand, doesn't get it. Easy under by Pruka. Seeing some handler movement here. Heavily marked by Austin Torch. Around. Who's going to come down with it? Bidding Pruka to help out her teammate there, Karnkoff, but unable to make the connection, and Austin Torch is going to get the disc. Annie Ortiz picking it up. Finds a available fourth, who's going to look to Julia Schmaltz, who gets a great read on it. Pulls it down with her right hand.
Very messy point from both teams, I have to say. I think Indy Red honestly had the better flow on that point when you look at it offensively, and just had one throw that kind of got away from them. And overall, I really think Austin kind of got lucky with that hold. It definitely seemed they were a lot more chaotic and didn't necessarily have their flow down that we've seen 100% each time the O-line's been out here. So I also think it was a really great move by Indy. You saw Nicole Quay kind of coming over from their O-line in order to be another handler anchor for that turn when the Indy Red got it, and I think that really ended up helping them out.
The PUL athletes are supported by Strive and Uplift, a strength and conditioning community that provides virtual programming and education to Ultimate players worldwide, in addition to on-site services in their Seattle and Boulder locations. Learn more about Strive and Uplift at striveanduplift.com. And you definitely saw some athleticism out there.
Strive and Uplift has been doing some amazing things. Unfortunately, Kelsey Giboney, who tore her ACL in Indy's game against Gridlock, Strive and Uplift created a personal program for her before surgery so she could continue to work out with a torn ACL.
And that's really important. That's a really important part of the recovery, is to keep that identity of being an athlete and working towards something. Red with the disc. Oh. Torch with the disc. A bit of a bobble there by Indy. It's going to get the disc to Laura Jerenzer. Tiffany Schumacher puts it up to Tina Woodings, and it's going to be caught. Catch the disc, then care about your feet.
Honestly, definitely saw Tina having to stretch every part of her body in order to get that down. You really saw, before that unfortunate drop by the Indy Red, you saw a lot of great movement from their handlers. They were able to work it up a good 10, 15 yards before really seeing any sort of struggle from the Torch defense. But honestly, just great way to take advantage of that Indy Red drop by the Torch, kind of putting a mark on it, saying if you're going to turn it over, we're going to put the disc in the end zone.
And that's what all of a sudden Indy's looking now down 3. It's a bit of a difference being down 3 versus 1 or 2.
For sure.
Indy's going to be on offense on the right side of your field in white, Torches in black. If you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. On for Torch, Jerenzer, Woodings, Overman, Bexforth, Kayla Ramirez, Ashley Sheeler, and Val Pinillos.
See the usual suspects out here for Indy's O-line. They've been doing an incredible job trying to get that flow down the field. Good decision by the coach to keep them on the field after that drop.
Winner with the disc on the far side. Had a really aggressive cut under to get it. Finding her space and taking it. Big backhand fake, I think might have made contact with a face.
And unfortunately, that would be a foul on Bexforth because she was in motion, but definitely a backhand force to the face.
It's going to be an injury timeout here. We'd like to take this time to give a big shout out to our observers and our score timekeepers and everybody else behind the scenes that works weekly to go over how to improve rules, how to make things better. Behind the scenes, the PUL has a subcommittee that does a lot of great work to improve the flow of the games. As this inaugural season happens, there's going to be rules that they need to adjust and figure out what's the best way to approach things.
Definitely, and you see Bex okay there coming back in and getting a great turnover with a great mark.
Bree Harrison with a great attempt at keeping it in Red's possession, unable to come down with it. Jerenzer with it in the middle to Kayla Ramirez. Looking deep, back to Jerenzer. She's working.
And an unfortunate turnover there by the Austin Torch.
Gorin with the disc. Move to Quay. Swung around to Harrison. Harrison moves it back to Winner. Winner with the disc in the center. McInerney looking deep. Through traffic, not able to make it happen. Schmetz is unable to make the connection. That was a little too far out front, and then you've got some traffic from other players in the area.
Good defense there by Schumacher, able to deter that while still making sure she didn't make contact.
Beautiful bid by Ramirez, but unable to come down with it. Gorin puts it up in a skinny backhand, able to come down with it for a score for Indy Red. Believe that. Is that a break or am I mistaken there?
That is a hold
That's
for
a
Indy
hold.
Red.
All right. Hold
Yes.
Hold for Indy Red.
If I don't see Sharon Sow, Julia Smaltz, or Shireen Raby, or Elise Bjork on the field, it's definitely a D-line point for the Austin Torch.
That brings our score to Austin Torch 8 and the Indy Red at 6 with 1:39 left in this first half.
But the
sun's
second
out.
quarter.
The second quarter. Sun's out. Music's going. You might not be able to see the crowd, but we've got a
Pretty
great
nice
crowd
house here.
Yeah, pretty nice house here. More or less 15,000.
I would say more than 15,000 people.
But this is I think the first time they played at this stadium this season, and it's a little far from the center of Austin, so it's great to see so many people out here supporting this team.
Absolutely. I'm not even in the center of Austin. I'm north, and it took me 30 minutes to get here today, so it's nice to see everybody out here.
Katie Force swings it to the near side to hit Sharon Sow. Sow's looking upfield, going to use her handlers. Annie Ortiz with the disc. Moves it to Schmaltz in the center. Cutters downfield are working hard. Sow's going to get rewarded. Kara Crouch just leaving her defender in the dust there with her speed. Broken around, hit Schmaltz. And they're going to work that backhand break all the way around and translate that to a score for the Austin Torch.
A nice cheeky high release throw by Katie Forth to Shireen Raby. Speaking of Shireen Raby, did you know one time Shireen Raby saved Sharon Sow's life? You should ask her about it. She's very excited about that fact. And I would be too if I saved Sharon Sow's life, because Sharon Sow is an incredible player.
So we have we have Shireen to thank for all this amazing Sharon Sow we get to see out here.
Pretty much everything credit for everything Sharon does should be given to Shireen. That's pretty much what I believe the summation of that fact is.
That's great. Austin Torch with an easy hold there. Beautiful backhand breaks, really taking advantage of stepping around the mark.
It's really great to see Schmaltz in that handler set. Not necessarily known for her handling abilities, but Julia Schmaltz really has some of those great throws. She's long and she knows how to get around her mark and use her height to her advantage in the air and with her throws.
Tina Woodings with the pull. Inside out backhand's going to land in the center of the field here. Kwai with the disc, centering it to Lai. To McNary. Extending grab out there by Dudley. Working it back to the handlers. Finding a streaking cutter in Schmetz there. Kwai with a knee grab there. Keeping the disc in the hands of Indy Red. Handler movement again. Looking upfield. Backhand break again. I think that's the second backhand by, and that is caught by the Indy Red.
Great grab by
That is Brittany Winner.
Yes, number 22. Sorry, the catch happened kind of out of our field of vision.
Yes.
Kind of in the one corner of the end zone where we have absolutely no view. So we needed her to kind of walk back into our frame in order to see her.
Great disc movement by the handlers there. Moving it one side of the field to the other. That was really, really nice to see.
I absolutely agree. I love seeing good backhand breaks. I feel like it is fundamental to every thrower's arsenal, no matter what position you're playing, in order to have a good, solid backhand break. And Indy Red really just punishing any sort of mark that Austin was throwing on them if it wasn't tight enough.
And you're really seeing it on both sides of both sides of the field. I wonder if any of the coaches are going to try and change up a marks, maybe start forcing backhand to stop the flood of the backhand breaks we're getting.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what's happening. It'll be really interesting to see kind of what changes need to be made. I will say right now, if it's broke, don't fix it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's a pull out of bounds.
Out of bounds pull. 19 seconds left in the second quarter.
As a reminder to those tuning in, whoever has possession at the end of time will continue their possession through the end of the quarter. We do not end on buzzer beaters here.
Schmaltz with the disc, looking upfield to Cutters. Gonna work with our handlers now. Finds Raby. Raby puts up a flick in the end zone, but it's not gonna be recovered by anyone. And that's gonna give Indy the disc to finish out this possession. So we've expired all time, but Indy's gonna get full possession until it, if they turn it, that'll be the end of the second half, or the first half. So we're gonna talk about this, because maybe because she never had it in her.
So there's current talk between the observers that so I'll reiterate my thought. I'll try to explain what happened. So basically, since Indy Red did not physically have the disc in their possession when the horn went off on the field, they do not get possession to end the quarter. So even though the torch turned it over, since the Indy Red did not go physically retrieve the disc from the back of the end zone before the horn went off, that was the end of the quarter.
Hi, I'm Laura Garancer with the Austin Torch. We're a professional Ultimate women's team. I've been playing Ultimate since high school. It's the inaugural season of the Premier Ultimate League, and we couldn't do what we do without our sponsors. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Nationwide OVERSPRAY. Nationwide OVERSPRAY is a family-owned company that my dad started in 1982 when he was in his early 20s. What does Nationwide OVERSPRAY do? They hand remove paint and other contaminants from cars just like yours. Paint on cars? It happens more than you think. The next time you see a water tower being painted, a bridge, a sports stadium, or a road being striped, chances are some of the paint drifted and landed on nearby cars. Nationwide OVERSPRAY works with any insurance company to handle the claim. Your car will be returned to its previous condition, or better. Think Nationwide OVERSPRAY, the professional removal choice. And if you or someone you know has a car with unwanted paint, call 800-345-1269 or visit nationwideoverspray.com and come out to one of our games. We'll see you there. Hi, I'm Laura Garancer with the Austin Torch. We're a professional Ultimate women's team. I've been playing Ultimate since high school. It's the inaugural season of the Premier Ultimate League, and we couldn't do what we do without our sponsors. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Nationwide OVERSPRAY. Nationwide OVERSPRAY is a family-owned company that my dad started in 1982 when he was in his early 20s. What does Nationwide OVERSPRAY do? They hand remove paint and other contaminants from cars just like yours. Paint on cars? It happens more than you think. The next time you see a water tower being painted, a bridge, a sports stadium, or a road being striped, chances are some of the paint drifted and landed on nearby cars. Nationwide OVERSPRAY works with any insurance company to handle the claim. Your car will be returned to its previous condition, or better. Think Nationwide OVERSPRAY, the professional removal choice. And if you or someone you know has a car with unwanted paint, call 800-345-1269 or visit nationwideoverspray.com and come out to one of our games. We'll see you there.
Hello and welcome back. Hello and welcome back. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. On the right side of your field, you see Austin Torch in black starting on defense. It's Tina Woodings with the disc. And the disc is the DISCRAFT Ultrastar. DISCRAFT Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. DISCRAFT, the world leader in disc sports. And the disc is up. It's going to land out of bounds, and when that happens, they're going to be able to center it to start the point off. And that is Quay with the disc in the center for Indy Red and White. Marked by Bexforth.
We have Indy Red starting with the disc.
Person defense by the Austin Torch coming out in this second half. Centered to Hannah Winner. Through traffic by Overman. Inside break there is going to move the disc up the field. Look around, break. Kayla Ramirez for the Austin Torch gets a hand on that before Indy Red is going to create a defensive play there for the Torch, and they're going to get the disc. The attempt at a break coming here in the second half. Disc gets moved around to the other side of the field. Tina Woodings is going to put up a backhand for streaking Overman, who's unable to come down with it.
Looks like just a misread there by Sydney Overman. Had enough space and just kind of whiffed it off her hand.
McInerney's picking it up for the Indy Red. Going to take it in the center. Marked by Garanzer. Winner inside to Dudley. Dudley looking deep, puts up a flick. It's being tracked by a few players downfield. And Lily White pulls it down. I believe there might be a call on the field, maybe over the back. We're going to see this probably go to an observer, maybe not. Observer, look, that observer right there is Ted Weissman. There's been a timeout called. Nope, yes. There's a timeout called, and that was signaled by the head observer, Joe Nyes. So Austin Torch called the timeout after the D by Lily White.
Smart call there by Austin. It'll be nice to get their O-line out there, because as you can do in the PUL, you can do a full line substitution with timeouts. So they're definitely looking to get that break, or to just start the third quarter.
Put their best offensive players out there with the disc in their hand.
I would say Lily's their best defensive player.
I would agree.
So it'll be interesting to see them getting this break and sealing it with this O-line out here.
Yeah.
Looks like Bjork will be the torch player to pick up the disc to start this out of the timeout. And we see Indy Red also went for what looks like almost a full line substitution as well.
Almost. You see Winner out there. She stayed. She's
Winner,
a dynamic player.
Yes, fantastic two-way player.
Yes. Back in the handler spots, you got Ortiz and Broom helping out Bjork, who's picking up the disc in the middle. Looking upfield. Going to work with her handlers now. Looking for her cutters. Find Sharon Sal.
Winner kind of poaching off Julia Schmaltz, kind of hanging out in that deep space.
Swung around. Amy Broom's going to keep the swing going in the handler spot. Kara Crouch, great backhand break to Annie Ortiz. Annie Ortiz finds Sharon Sal in the middle. Looking towards the end zone, but finds a better option in fourth coming up the middle. Bit of contact on the mark there. Believe we got a call on the field. She's marked by Ashley Karnkoff for Indy Red.
Kara Crouch to Katie Forth for the score.
And that is a point for Austin Torch, taking the score to 10-7 in favor of the Austin Torch.
Kind of making up for the fact that they didn't score that last hold to end the first half, and getting that break to start off in order to keep that 3-point lead over the Indy Red.
Yes.
But overall, I think very tight defense that you saw from the Indy Red coming over to start after that timeout call. You saw Winner playing some great defense on Julia Schmaltz when she was coming under. And it's really great to see both teams still with that intensity moving into the second half.
Out there for Indy Red, and we've got Quay, McInerney. Also out there, Bree Harrison and Schmetz for Indy Red there.
Looks like the wind.
Yeah, disc is near side to McInerney. Just gonna look for handlers. Ask for Mark to get a little off there. Finds an inside cutter. Off the hands of her cutter, it's going to be a torch disc now. Drea Sparzo picking it up in the center. Works it to Tina Woodings on the far side. Some handler action by Torch. Strong mark. And we'll see if that was called, I believe. So observers have active in and out of bounds calls as well as up and down, and that observer is going to call that out. Great effort by Tina Woodings to keep it in bounds, but just falls short of the line. Quay with the disc. McInerney in the center. Unable to make the connection with Jen Golan. Disc hits the ground before it can find the hands of a teammate. Tina Woodings picking it up on the far side. That's going to be a turn, and Indy Red's going to pick it up in the center. With a flick and a bidding McInerney unable to come up with it. Bit of a babbly point here for the team.
Yes, I think the wind has really started to pick up again on the field. You saw that pull come up short to start the point, so I think a lot of teams are really struggling to find their throws in the wind again.
You see Torch stretching it deep, not making any connection. Stray Esparza with an upline cut is going to catch it in line. Looking upfield, centers to Woodings. The cutters are working. Inside cut. Up to Fernandez. Fernandez is going to let one go for Woodings. Woodings catches it. Double hand right to the chest in stride. Bounced out to Sheeler, excuse me. And Sheeler's going to pop it right over to Overman, and Overman's going to catch it.
Definitely saw a lot of turnovers from both teams that point, just on mental lapses. Just as we're talking about how it seems like both teams coming out of half are kind of still dialed in, that point kind of shows that it's really shifting with these players, and I think the wind coming back into being a factor in the game is really going to test the mental toughness of these players. You kind of saw it fade out in the second quarter, and the players didn't really have to deal with the wind, and now that it's come back in, they're a little bit more fatigued. Their throwers don't have the exact same amount of touch on it, and we're really seeing a lot of struggle coming with that, with the players on the field, and you're starting to see them get a little bit more fatigued downfield. With that point, you saw Austin not really having a lot of motion downfield from their cutters, and it really took Fernandez getting that big huck out to Woodings to get any sort of flow or motion there for the Torch.
Yes. And we've been talking about this wind, but we can't neglect the fact that it is humid out there. The air is thick, and they're breathing in water out there.
Definitely not an enjoyable condition to play in.
But it's also going to move, the disc is going to be manipulated in the air a little bit. It's going to sit a little bit.
There is a spike ball in the middle of the right end zone, but I believe there was an offsides.
We'll see what happens here. In that far end zone with Torch, that's observer Ted Weissman. We have an offsides call there. You can see there is a bit of a swirly wind on that field. I hope the Torch sees that spike ball though and gets that moved out of the end zone there.
Hey, that goes to the midfield for the receiving team.
You should get the spike ball out of the end zone.
Goes to the receiving team midfield.
Observers are going to talk this out and decide where to put the disc.
It should come in at midfield. If there's an offsides, you should get the disc at midfield. And good on the cameraman for the game, getting the spike ball out of the end zone. Really want some safety for our players.
So offsides by Torch. You're going to see Bexforth on the mark, marking Lauren Boyle for the Indy Red. Half field to work with towards the end zone. Bit of an ISO in the middle by Pruka. Unable to make the connection. Just call on the field.
Foul called on Tiffany Schumacher.
Looks like there's uncontested by her. Not quite sure what she did.
She was too aggressive on her handler defense. She was kind of pushing off on her, and she wasn't able to get open because of it.
Boyle looking around on a great rooftop grab by Kelly Kirker. And back to a diving Boyle. Boyle with a backhand break. It's going to hit the ground, but I believe there's a foul called. Looks like uncontested. That's Bexforth on the mark for the Torch. She breaks again. And 24, Liz Gates comes down with it.
Observers calling her out of bounds. Looked like she may have landed straddling the line.
Again, active call by the observer. Torch is going to get that disc moving right away. Kayla Ramirez picked it up to Tiffany Schumacher. Schumacher is looking for LG in the end zone, and she's striding out, unable to make it happen. That was either going to be out of bounds or a bid. She had to juggle two things there, and I think she did a great job.
Laura Garanser trying really hard to bring that one in, but just too far. The wind, of course, is back, as we've been talking about, and that huck that probably would have been beautiful in the second quarter is now going to sail just too far here in the third.
LG on the mark. Great handler defense by fourth, but Red's going to move it upfield. Lily White comes down with it. Throws it from the ground to Ramirez. Ramirez with it in the middle. They end up swinging that disc far wide to Tiffany Schumacher. Back to near side to Ramirez again. Marked by Liz Gates. Finds Schmaltz in the center. Quick movement. Got 5 yards out of the end zone. Now only about a yard outside the end zone. Flick up. And that's a goal to Beck's fourth. Beck's did a lot of work that point. Hard marks and rewarded with a goal.
Yes, I would agree. That is the third break in a row for the Austin Torch to start this second half. Definitely see them now dialed way more in than they were. Probably in that second point out of the half where we saw a lot of frantic motion coming from the players. I think it's really incredible to see these players. We saw them starting with that incredible D by Lily White, and then saw them really just get up and start moving it. It's really nice, again, as we talked about before, Torch has been really good about getting the D and moving and not giving the defense any extra time to set. They're really making sure that they can put their foot on the pedal and just keep moving through this game. They don't want Indy to get comfortable at all on defense, so they can keep moving and work the disc down.
Yes. Those fast transitions are really what elevate play.
Yes.
Tina Wooding's on the pole for the Torch. Indy Red's offense is out here. Typical players for them. Bree Harrison, Jackie Lai, Kate McInerney, Kwai. Disc is up. Looks like it's going to come out of bounds about half field.
Could have just offsides at that point anyway.
Jackie Lai picking it up for Indy Red. Is going to take it at the middle and is marked by Sky Fernandez.
Looks like she's going to have Nicole Quay as her backup dump.
They're running a vertical stack. Finds Brittany Winner in the undercut. To a continuation deep cut by Jamie Schmetz to catch it in the end zone. And that's a goal for the Indy Red.
I think that is exactly what Indy Red needed to get their legs back under this game. You've seen them really struggling the past couple of points to get any sort of offensive flow. And this point they showed, we're going to come out here, we're going to get the disc in our hands, and we're going to run an offense that we're comfortable with, and we're going to get the disc in the end zone. Also definitely helped that that pull was so short. Really, pulls sometimes aren't necessarily thought of as essential parts of the defense, but when you have those short pulls and short fields to work with, it was lucky the first time when Austin was offsides and Indy got it at half field, but this time Indy really punished them for that short pull.
Also allows them to start from that stagnant position. Really emulates those drills you practice, so it's something everyone's familiar with.
Very true.
Austin Torch's offensive line out here. We've got Katie Forth, Kara Crouch, Sharon Sow, Shireen Raby, Julia Schmaltz, Amy Broom, and Annie Ortiz. Mixture of returners and new members for the Austin Torch this season. It's great to see the people they were able to put together on this team. This is going to land far side, just past half court. Kate McInerney on the mark. Straight up line, moving it. Shireen's going to find a streaking Sow. Unable to make the connection. That was a great drop defense by Austin Pruka for Indy Red. Really making it unable for Sharon to make a play on that.
And we know Sharon could have made a play on that. Everyone's seen the highlights from the past weeks of play, Sharon Sow definitely has the ability to turn on the jets and jump and get it. So a very great defense by Pruka to know who was going and who was going to get it downfield.
McInerney in the center, looking up, finds a great backhand break around. Indy looking upfield, Pruka with the disc. More handler movement, Soto with it now on near side. Ooh. We have a drop by Indy Red. But that was great movement to get it moving. Kara Kraut. There's a pick call on the field that stopped play. Unsure if the disc is going to go back or stay with Julia Schmaltz. I think it's staying.
Looks uninvolved, so the disc will stay with Schmaltz.
Schmaltz to Sal. Back to Schmaltz. Right to the gut of Katie Forth is going to be a goal for the Austin Torch.
Definitely one of Katie's favorite cuts right there. Having played with her on Showdown for 2 years, she definitely likes that quick cut to the cone in order to get the disc in the end zone. She knows what she wants, she knows how she's going to get it, and is a fantastic cutter and handler. She's really a true hybrid when you think about players. One thing that I found very interesting is when you really look at the defenders for the Indy Torch, you have Austin Pruka and Winner really taking those hard matchups for the Austin O-line. Generally, you'll see Winner on Sow and Pruka on Schmaltz. Two very good choices. You saw them switch there kind of at the end when the pick occurred, but also just phenomenal matchups for both of them. Both very physical defenders and both know how to take away those threat options for two of Austin's fundamental O-line players.
Tiffany Schumacher with the pull for Austin Torch. Indy O-line out there. The score is 13-8 in favor of the Austin Torch. And the disc is up. Pulling upwind, it's just going to land just past half court, half field. And that's scoring with the disc on the far sideline for the Indy Red. Centered to Lai. Lai looks upfield, lets a flick go. See if Dudley can come down. It ends up sailing out of bounds.
Definitely that wind coming into play that we were talking about earlier.
Fernandez picks it up on the end zone line for Austin Torch. She's got great fakes. Really watch her fakes. Dre with it now on the near side. Looking to find a cutter.
Not really sure who she was looking for on that one.
Either way, Indy Red with it on the far sideline now. Working through some handlers. Gorin with it in the center. Finds a cutter coming under in Schmaltz, Smets. Smets inside flick to Harrison to Lai on the near side. Lai's looking in the end zone. Puts one up, maybe late in the stall count, and Jamie Smets comes down with it. Smets is...
Yeah, really good heads up play by Schmetz there.
I think that was a little late in the stall count. You saw some really good handler defense by Forth out there. Untraditional defense, I'd say. She had her back to her mark, which is something I've taught and have been taught too, to keep your face locked on your defensive mark and not turn your back. But her head was on a swivel so much, and she did a great job. She executed it very well.
Yes. Unfortunately, seeing Quay down on the field with what looks like a calf cramp, saw her teammates trying to stretch her out, and she's kind of hobbling off the field right now. You see Kristen Dudley kind of just picking her up and carrying her off the field, and Soto is helping now too. Great team effort there. It'll be interesting to see if Quay comes back into this game. We know we saw her go out earlier in the point. Could probably give a clue in to why she took that injury in the first half.
Indy Red pulling. That's Emily Nadler with the disc for the pull. It's going to go up. It's a low pull, but reaching right at about half field where we've seen him coming from that end zone. Bjork's picking it up for the Austin Torch. Looking inside. Ooh. Misconnection there with fourth is going to make the possession back in Indy Red's hands. Looking upfield. Boyle with that skinny inside flick.
And just a turf.
Just a turf. Fourth with it in her hands now. Releases it back out to to Elise Bjork, who usually you don't see on the receiving end of hucks.
But that was just off the fingertips of Elise Bjork. Great run by her, but just unfortunate and not able to bring it down. And Indy will get another shot at a break after just an unfortunate turf in the play before.
And it was a great stretch of the field. Indy's going to have to work a full 70 to get to the other end zone. Bjork on the mark. Oh, off the hands of Sammy Wong. Fourth with it now. They've got 10 yards to work into the end zone. Dumped it, so they've got little bit of some body play there, but it's all fair. Indy with the disc now on the front of their end zone line.
Another 70 to go for the Indy Red. Let's see if they can put it in this time.
Boyle with the disc. A lot of pressure by the Austin Torch. We see a hammer. Hammer up to Pruka. Pruka receives it.
Pruka definitely the person I would want on this line on the receiving end of that hammer.
Boyle finds it again. Oh, and that's D by Julia Schmaltz, 5 yards outside of the end zone. Bjork with 7 yards to go. Backhand. Quick backhand to the center of the field and unable to make the connection. However, Red is going to take it up quickly, and they're just going to push it.
I believe that's what we call a position huck.
She's calling her team to calm down. Let's get this in clean. Sharon Tsao with it in the middle. Puts it up. Sammy Wong in fourth in the end zone.
And that is the end of the quarter.
Great catch there by fourth with presence of Sammy Wong there on her side. End of the third quarter, it's Torch 14, Indy Red 9.
Probably makes a little bit more sense now why you saw Boyle just kind of chuck that disc to the other side. Wasn't really seeing a lot and was just hopefully trying to prevent kind of what happened to them at the end of the second quarter, where you saw, since they didn't have the disc physically in their possession at the end of the quarter, they couldn't pick up the disc. But now you saw her try to do the same thing, but there were defenders down there that had the disc in their hands when the end of the quarter occurred.
Yeah. That was a great awareness by Austin Torch to get that disc in their hands.
Definitely a great look by Sharon Tsao as well. Katie Forth really knows her body and knows how to get those discs in the end zone over great defenders, and Sammy Wong is no exception. It was a great look and a great grab there by Sammy, or not by Sammy, I apologize, by Katie.
So we're just about to start the fourth quarter here, and there's a conditional rule in the PUL this season where the first 3 quarters end with possession, and the fourth quarter is actually going to end with a buzzer beater. So unlike the earlier quarters, this one, game ends
over. Yes.
when the timer runs out.
As MC did talk about earlier, there is a rules subcommittee of the PUL that has been meeting every week after the games to kind of talk about what's been going on and kind of how they feel the games are going. If you missed that earlier in the broadcast, it's kind of, the PUL is in their inaugural season, so it's definitely been a work in progress to get these rules kind of in play. We've definitely seen changes since the beginning of the season, so it's always trying to improve and make the league better.
Right, exactly. I'd love to be to know how this rule was decided on, and I'm interested to see if it stays. We're starting this fourth quarter here. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. It's fourth quarter here, Dom. We're going to have to start making sure we're taking care of our plays of the game and players of the game.
Oh, yes. I'm ready. I got mine.
You got yours?
I got mine. Well, unless something else happens, but I think I got a good idea.
Indy Red with the pull. York picking it up in the center for Austin Torch. Move to fourth. Fourth looking for a cutter. Finds one. Releases a backhand. Looking for Sal. And it's Deed by Austin Pruka. There's a great matchup as well.
I thought Pruka had great positioning on Sao to start. I was pretty actually surprised that Katie put it up. Probably had a lot of faith in Sao, but Pruka just a fantastic defender there to get that D.
Soto with the disc for Indy Red on the end zone line. Looking for a handlers now. Dishes it up, makes the connection to an upline cutter. Downfield, some stagnant cutting. We'll see. Oh, unable to make the Callahan connection, but Katie Forth gets a D.
If she caught it, it would have been a Callahan.
And what is a Callahan?
A Callahan is when an offensive player throws it to a defensive player and they catch it in their scoring end zone, and that is a point.
Austin Torch with it. Backhand break to Julia Schmaltz over the top, and that's a point for the Austin Torch.
Definitely starting to see fatigue really settle in on these teams in this quarter. Indy Red just really didn't have a lot of movement downfield, which forced Boyle to put that backhand throw up kind of just as a prayer to her dump. And really just saw Austin just smothering downfield with great person defense.
I did see a bit of stagnancy in the cutters for Indy Red there, and that could be due to the fatigue. They are the visiting team, and all these players were new. You know, you're just learning how to really play or travel and play in one game. You build routines. You know, you figure out what works for you. You're on the flight. You gotta stand up and stretch. You know, you can't just sit. So players are going to be working through all of that to figure out what's the best way they can keep their body in shape to come out here early travel mornings and be able to play.
Yeah.
Not physically only, but mentally as well.
Yes. Definitely here mentally is the big thing that people need to be aware of. Tends to be a part of the game that sometimes we tend to look over a little bit as ultimate players, but this mental part of the game is really important, especially coming down into this fourth quarter.
You see Indy Red with that. They started in their vertical stack there again from a stop disc far sideline, and they were just able to run their play. And you saw they did probably exactly what they wanted to do. A Jackie lie to a deep cut from Dudley. Beautiful connection there, and that's going to be a fast point for the Red. Definitely guarded by Lily White, but
yes. Definitely great to see Dudley getting those reps into this game. Was a captain of Rogue last year and really just knows what she's doing. Played college at Purdue, which is also a really great university to get those touches in there in the Midwest.
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes represent.
Chicago native myself, so love to see the Great Lakes getting some reps, and I love to see Indy Red here with this team in the Premier Ultimate League. I believe that's, if I'm not mistaken, that is Emily Nadler with the pull for Indy Red.
Emily Nadler also kind of coming out of that Indianapolis, Purdue area.
Katie Forth with the disc is going to release a inside backhand, and she loves that throw. She's really good at it too, but that one just got away, and she knew that after released it.
Definitely did not go where she wanted it to go for sure.
You're going to see Kristen Kvek picking it up for the Indy Red. And Sharon Sow gets the D on Brittany Winner.
And that's bookends for Sharon Sow. As we talked about earlier, Torch has been really good about that movement, not letting the D set at all. Sharon got that D, continued the run through, and Amy Broom was like, well, she's wide open, picks up the disc, and just basically tosses it to a standing Sharon Sow. Definitely a lesson to like not hang your head after that D, after getting D'd on a turn.
I am really impressed by Austin Torch's fast transitions in this game. And that's something you can practice, and that might be something they watched in film and was like, this is what's going to really put us over the edge in this game.
Yes. I definitely think it's something that the Torch has been working on and has been trying really hard to perfect and try to make sure that they stay aggressive with the disc.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we're going to see a pull from Tiffany Schumacher for the Austin Torch.
A Texas A&M alumni and Tiffany Schumacher.
Fellow Aggie myself.
Unfortunate for you two. I am a Longhorn.
We got a little bit of a battle here in the booth right now, don't we?
It's okay. We're showing that Aggies and Longhorns can be friends, you guys.
There we go. Coming together for the Premier Ultimate League.
Saw a roller pull to the 50-yard line.
Jackie Lai with the disc marked by Drea Sparza. See that vertical stack again from Indy Red. To McInerney in the center.
And just an overthrow.
It was a fast disc.
Oh, it looks like an injury
No.
by McInerney. Probably might have contributed to the fact that she didn't necessarily get that throw where she wants. Kind of looks like she's cramping a little bit on the field.
Thank you to our trainers for being out here today. One of the biggest things we have here in the Premier Ultimate League is keeping our players safe and keeping our providing the right
medical attention to our athletes.
Thank
and
you.
that's provided by Texas Physical Therapy Specialists, who, number 2, Elise Bjork, is actually a physical therapist at the clinic that supplies the physical therapist for our lovely game today.
Great stuff. Great stuff. We're going to it was a turn, so we're going to see the disc come in on the far side by Torch. I believe we're going to start with a ground check. And the field is live. Disc is in. Finds LG on the far side. Oh, beautiful cut by Drea Sparza. Overman brings it down. Oh, wow. And the focus through traffic by Bex Forth to come down with that. Great defense by Bree Harrison.
Got to give credit where credit is due. Bree Harrison did just about everything to get to that break side to try to prevent Bex Forth for bringing in that break. But Bex Forth, one of those incredible players that just really looks and is using her experience to really bring everything to the game that she has. Definitely seeing some O-line players. Julia Schmaltz coming over to this D-line for the Torch.
Yes, Overman staying out for another point.
Same with Garenzer and Schumacher.
Wooding's on the pole this time. For Indy Red, you see Quay, Brittany Winner out there again.
Looks like they brought Lauren Boyle over from the D-line in order to make up for the fact that McInerney had to take that injury sub. Lauren Boyle, a great all-around player, has played at Worlds, coached Colorado Collie for a couple years while I have been playing for Texas Melee. Truly a fantastic player.
Quay with it in the center. Working with Nadler in the handler set. Oh. And again, that disc is going to hit the ground before it finds a teammate. Fast movement by Torch, a little too fast to keep it in control, but we're going to have an injury called by Kayla Ramirez. quick little injury. Looks like she was able to bounce off the field. Hopefully she's all right.
Kayla just immediately felt that after the drop and walked across the field. Hopefully she's okay. Everyone moving a couple steps back because she called the injury just a little bit after the turn.
We've really seen some great spirit by both teams out there. Clean
Val
calls.
Panios coming in for Kayla Ramirez on the turn.
Kwai with the disc, looking upfield. Working with Boyle on the far side. Boyle looks deep. Oh, beautiful heads-up play by Pruka to keep it in the Reds' hands, but I do believe we have a pick on the field.
It looks like, I don't believe it's involved, so Pruka will get to keep the disc unless the pick occurred before, and yep, Pruka gets to keep the disc.
Dumps it back to her handler, Boyle. Boyle trying to make something work. Finds Winner. Winner puts a flick up.
Just
And
perfect to Pruka in the end zone.
They worked it. A lot of throws, made the connections, and ended up with a point. Big flick blade to make that goal happen. We're going to see Torch put out an offensive line.
Austin Pruka, another one of those Worlds players that is playing here with the Indy Red, currently plays club with Madison Heist, a great club team out of Wisconsin. Really incredible cutter and really great to see kind of making that trek from Milwaukee to Indianapolis in order to play with the Red.
About 8 minutes left here in this game. Score 17-11, about a 6-point spread. And we've got Catherine Soto with the pull for Indy Red.
See Lauren Boyle staying on after that point. Same with Austin Pruka and Winner.
Bjork with it in the center, looking to make something happen with the handlers. Tries a lefty backhand break. Is that
kind of an inside and just kind of threw it behind Sharon Tsao.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Tsao wasn't able to keep her hands on it.
Boyle with the disc in the center. About a 20-yard field to work with. Puts a flick break up to Pruka. Comes down with it.
And that's a point for the Indianapolis Red.
And that is a goal for Indy Red.
Definitely need to see them starting to make those breaks now with 10 minutes left in this game, or 8 minutes left in this game, in order to kind of bring their way back in. Definitely needed that break and was a great look and great cut from great look from Boyle and a great cut by Pruka. Kind of saw her take those kind of 5 steps under and then just immediately turned Julia Schmaltz's hips so she could take that deep lane, and Lauren Boyle was able to just air out that OI flick.
Great throw, great receiver, beautiful play. I'm picking up a lot of really clean, isolated plays by the Red. When they can get the disc and a stop disc and kind of isolate a play from the beginning, it often translates to a goal.
Yes. Definitely good to see that coming through for the Red. Seeing about the same line for Indy Red staying on. Looks like Pruka took one in favor of Nicole Quay.
That's going to be just short of half.
An unfortunate pull for the Red. Gives the Austin Torch a pretty short field to work with.
Bjork with the disc, looking upfield, is going to work with her handler set in the backfield. They're going to move the disc around.
Indy kind of in a zone in the backfield.
There is something going on here.
A lot of poaches. Julia Schmaltz very open because of that poach downfield.
There was a lot of field. There was a lot of field on the right to work with.
A lot of field, and you saw that with that beautiful OI hook to Sharon Tsao. This wind is definitely favoring these OI throws, making them very easy to kind of float into the right position for these cutters to run onto.
And you're seeing it. The throws that are coming up are just looking really nice. And that was a quick release by Schmaltz. She did a good job of getting it, finding it in the center. Before the defense could react and see it's up, it was Sharon's disc.
Yes, exactly. Just really great field awareness by both players to see that kind of come across the field. See a pretty stacked D-line coming out here for the Torch. And we see the O-line back out here for the Indy Red.
I don't think I've seen Kate McInerney on since she took that injury.
No, unfortunate. She has been off since that injury. Hopefully she is okay.
Yes. The disc is up, pulled by Tiffany Schumacher. Past half field.
That's the first I've seen that in a bit from this upwind pulling side.
Working their handler set in the backfield. Gonna bounce it near side to Schmetz. Smets working it. Over to Lai, and that's just over the top. Can it be recovered? And it is. Great heads-up play. I believe that was Nadler coming down with a big save. What a save. Puts it deep. Can Smets come down with it? Oh! Near side. Hard grab.
That was definitely a laser.
Mm-hmm.
And Schmetz just couldn't come down with it. Seeing Schumacher electing to pick up a disc from the sideline because you only have 10 seconds in the PUL between turnover and when the offense has to start the disc in.
Inside to Lily White. He's going to keep it. Back to Schumacher. Seeing what they can't make happen. Finds Drea Esparza. Quick movement.
This is definitely a good wind for Schumacher. She is a lefty, which means she gets her great inside backhand with the force that Indy Red is currently putting on.
Yes. And they just worked it up. One break, and they worked it up that backhand break side the whole way.
And that is Drea Esparza missing the kick spike on the score. Really proud of her there as a former Longhorn alum and one of my former captains. Really proud of her for missing the kick spike. Hopefully that was intentional.
You know, I think she lost her hat in the play, so she's off balance.
She just really couldn't maintain it through there.
But what matters is that she caught the score, and that's going to bring our total to 19 Torch, Indy Red 12. And that is 5 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game. Tom, how you still sitting on some thoughts for player of the game and play of the game?
Yeah, I'm definitely sitting on them. I want to see the next 6 minutes play out. I definitely think sometimes you get the best plays kind of towards the end of the game when you get the flow just kind of getting out into the field.
Yeah. We've definitely seen on the red side, we've seen some great consistency from the names of Winner and Lai. We're saying Kate McInerney, before she left, was having a great game, too.
Absolutely. Definitely seen a lot of athletic plays from Pruka. Oh, and just an absolutely unfortunate turnover there from Soto. We'll see
Short
if Torch
field.
can convert.
Fernandez with the disc. Puts a flick up. We're going to see, I believe that observer is going to call it out. Incredibly athletic play by Tina Woodings there. Unfortunately out of bounds. Red with it needing to work 70. Puts it up to Dudley. Dudley looking upfield. Finds Boyle. Backhand. Sheeler there to create traffic in front of Sammy Wong, who's unable to come down with it. Woodings with it now. Great D there by Catherine Soto.
Definitely think she's trying to make up for that first throw turnover.
I agree. You don't forget those ones. She's going to put up a backhand. We've got Winner in the backfield.
A lot of traffic
well
there.
Oh, fortunately, no one comes down with it on Indy Red. Tina Woodings working with Sheeler. Sheeler inside backhand to Ramirez. Torch is working it up. Beautiful backhand.
Just unfortunately, probably had a little bit of heat on that coming downwind, and Pinillo's kind of kicking herself for not being able to pull that one down.
We got Quay picking up for the disc for the Indy Red. They're in their vertical stack again. Great initial cut by Golan. Injury call. I believe we've got a cramp there. Some help from a opponent there. Beautiful spirit you got on the field.
That's that calf that's been giving Quay a lot of trouble this game already. Already saw her take that injury in the first half and then had to get stretched out after a point. But definitely running in. Oh, and it's a double calf cramp for Quay. You really hate to see it. Those are not comfortable for any of you that have ever experienced it. You have Lauren Boyle and our physical therapist on hand stretching her out.
Wow.
And Quay will probably have to take a point, and we'll see who Indy Red brings in for her.
Oh, man. How do you walk after that?
You don't. You kind of hobble.
We'll see some substitutions from both sides, I would guess here.
Looks like Lena Gorin is coming in, and Sharon Sow has come in for the Austin Torch.
I think Tiffany might have been on the line for that point.
Yeah, you kind of saw her run away for some water. Lily White has elected to start doing some sign turning on the sideline.
Schmaltz with the disc. Wide swing. Beautiful play.
Cheeky inside throw there from Sky Fernandez.
When Sky Fernandez has the disc, I'm impressed. Her step outs, her fakes, her release points, they're really impressive.
You now see why Team USA took her for the U20 team last cycle. She really knows what she's doing behind the disc.
Mm-hmm. We've got a timeout on the field. If you're watching this game and wondering just how you can get the athleticism and the strength that you're seeing out there, the PUL athletes are supported by Strive and Uplift, a strength and conditioning community that provides virtual programming and education to ultimate players worldwide, in addition to on-site services in their Seattle and Boulder locations. Learn more about it at striveanduplift.com. All right. See a D-line out here for Torch. You got Rachel Yeager, Laura Jerenzer, Drea Sparza, Beck Sforth, Tiffany Schumacher, Lily White, and Anastasia Foster. Excited to see what Austin does on this point. And again, Red with an impressive offensive line here, led by Jackie Lai back in that handler position. I think it's going to be pretty hard to come up with a player of the game. We've seen really strong team defenses and team offenses.
I agree completely. I think the Torch and the Red have been doing absolutely phenomenal things as a unit, which is really great to see.
Side stack here by the Red, not their traditional vertical in the middle. Let's see how this strategy works out for him. Foul on the play. It's like uncontested by Yeager. Dre on the mark. Dre's been incredibly consistent this whole game too.
Winner one of those players on the field that have really been doing absolutely everything for the Red, along with Pruka.
Yes. Oh, great. Great D by Dre. That could solidify something for her right there. Dre looking, finds a great upline. Oh, and just so beautiful read. Incredibly fast movement. Flick.
And unfortunate.
A lot of greatness and then a pressure flick blade.
I believe we call that conservation of greatness in the ultimate world.
It's going to leave Indy with 70 yards to work.
Definitely probably going to see maybe a little bit of hucking motion here with this downwind. Hopefully it doesn't get caught too much by the wind like we've seen so many get caught. And speaking of huck and getting caught by the wind.
Oh, great read by Pruka. Heads up awareness to be there for that disc. It's going to get moved up to Goran. Goran with the disc. Finds Smets. Smets looks flick and gets Pruka.
I think Bex was trying to maybe bait that a little bit, thinking that she could jump up and get that D, but that throw was just placed so perfectly by Smets into the arms of Austin Pruka. Bex fourth just wasn't able to get there in time.
Yeah. Austin Pruka really making a lot of things happen for this Indy Red team, on offense and on defense.
Absolutely. She's really kept them in the conversation in this game, and it's been really incredible to see.
We've got about a 2-minute warning here for the second half, fourth quarter, end of the game. Score is 20 Austin Torch in black to 13 Indy Red in white. We've got an offensive line out here for the Austin Torch with the likes of Bjork, Raby, Sharon Sow, Katie Forth, Kara Crouch, Annie Ortiz, and Julia Schmaltz.
As a reminder, as we are 6 seconds away from the last 2 minutes of the game, in the fourth quarter, the clock will stop not only for pulls and for injury timeouts, but will also stop for every call, every out of bounds, and every turnover. See that side stack flood.
Annie Ortiz with the disc. Sharon Sow with it in the middle. Finds it in cut and Kara Crouch. Disc is advanced. We're going to see a flick blade go up. And Julia Schmaltz come down with it. Great clean offense by Austin Torch.
Also great pull-up defense by Phoebe Kemmer. You saw her getting ready to go for the disc, but notice that in order for her to get any sort of D, she probably would have had to make a foul contact on Julia Schmaltz, and you saw her just kind of pull up a little bit and only make that slight body contact when Julia Schmaltz was coming down with the disc, and that's something you really appreciate in the PUL. We appreciate hard defense, but we also appreciate smart decision making when coming for defenses, whether it's player versus possibly an injury.
Exactly. And in pull, if you touch the disc and then the person, it's still a foul.
Yes.
We're going to see Tina Woodings with a pull for Austin Torch. Like to see Red work their offense and really find their groove.
Yes, that would be really nice to see coming into this. Tina Woodings with a fantastic upwind pull.
Beautiful. Gonna end.
Except it was out of bounds.
So this is going to come to the center of the field. Jackie Lai is going to have it. This stop disc setup play from Indy Red. Let's see what they do.
I have a feeling I know.
Jackie Lai with the option. Finds an under from Golan. Golan advances to Karnkoff. Working it through the handlers now. Oh. Unable to make the turn in time.
And it looks like Sheila is taking an injury.
No. was a hard turn. She wanted to turn faster than her body was letting her.
Kind of landed on her butt a little hard there.
Looks like Beck Swarth is going to come in as a sub. Maybe Jackie Lai taking a sub here for the Indy Red. I think coming in for her is Kristen Kavak. Disc in the Torch's hand. It's Tina Wooding with it. She's going to bring it up to the front of the end zone line here.
There go Tina's tap the disc in.
Oh, great grab by Val. Keeping the disc moving. Sky Fernandez with it on the far side. Beautiful break to Woodings. Oh, and it's up, and oh! Kayla Ramirez is going to keep it in possession for the Austin Torch. Drea Sparza with the disc now. Telling her where she wants her cutters. Beck's fourth helps her out. Looking upfield. Finds Sky Fernandez. Disc is up.
Great.
And Indy is going to come down with it. Yeah. Kristen Kavek with a turn. Drea Sparza with it just outside of the end zone line. Yeager with it now.
And that's
quick little push up.
It was a great heads up D by Sky Fernandez, and then great field awareness to keep the disc moving after the turn. It was really great heads up movement after Tina Woodings misses that bid play after that around throw from Sky Fernandez. You then saw all that heads up movement by the players in the field. Gorin almost gets the D, and then you see Ramirez kind of bobble it into her chest.
Yes. Everyone was aware there. It was great to see.
So it's that just about anything can happen in this sport, and we love watching it happen.
Yes. 19 seconds left in this fourth quarter here. Just a reminder, we will play to the buzzer. Once that buzzer goes, it's the end of game. If the disc is in the air, it's fair play.
Exactly. See Schmaltz kind of coming over from the O-line, maybe giving a little bit of height just in case there is a buzzer beater opportunity for the Torch.
We do see a tall line out there, don't we?
Absolutely. And a great pull by Tiffany Schumacher. Kind of going to roll away.
Beautiful. It went outside of the, that's what they want. It's on the sidelines. This gives enough time for all their players to get down without the clock starting.
Great.
Disc is up. Red's got it. They're working it. Looks off winner.
10 seconds.
Foul. We're going to make sure the clock is set up where it needs to be. We're going to reset the clock to 5 seconds. Indy's going to have 5 seconds left now to get this disc in the air and in their end zone. Disc goes up. Not going to be able to make anything happen there. And that's going to be the end of our game. It's going to be Austin Torch with the win, 22-13 for Indy Red.
So a great game overall. Who do you think is our DISCRAFT player of the game?
You know, when I think about who was out there making a lot of noise, I think of the likes of Brittany Winter and Austin Prukas. They did great on Torch's side. You had people like Tiffany Schumacher, really consistent the whole game, but I personally am going to want to give it to Drea Esparza.
I completely agree with that. The DISCRAFT player of the game goes to Andrea Esparza, number 5. Also a co-owner of this Austin Torch. Really just a fantastic all-around player.
Yes, really impressive, did a great job, leads their team, and just had a lot of heads up, great plays. Yes.
Absolutely.
And as for the Spin Ultimate play of the game, I've got to give it to the defensive plays of Lily White.
Absolutely. She knows where she's going. She knows what she's doing. Lily White, really a fantastic player. Thank you so much for joining us here in Austin, Texas, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.